What's up, guys? This is Hitchy Good, your favorite all-American freedom-loving gamer, and today we're looking at the PDW, or what I consider might be one of the best PDWs in Battlefield 4, the MPX, or as I like to call it, the Honey Badger, because this firearm takes what it wants, shreds enemies up close, and it gives you the tools you need to get in up amongst them. Now, before we start, if you want to help me keep Battlefield 4 alive, click that like button, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, and if you want to go that extra mile in the first week of this video's posting, click the hype button down below as well. But for now, let's dive in to what makes the MPX so great in Battlefield 4. So I ignored this firearm for a long time, and I'm really kicking myself for not using this platform a lot earlier. If I had to choose one word to describe this weapons platform, it'd be reliable, much like its real-world counterpart manufactured by Sig Sauer.
Was, you know, oh, don't drop it, don't drop it, don't.
Yeah, even though that is just the P320 model, maybe reliable isn't the best word to go with, so let's just go with consistent. Now, the reason this thing is so dang consistent is its above average fire rate of 850 rounds per minute, but also that's because it's coupled with one of the most predictable recoil patterns in the game, with a right and left recoil matched at 0.3 degrees and an upward recoil of 0.36. I have a much easier time landing shots on a consistent basis than I do with other PDWs. Now, because of this, I did find myself landing shots and getting kills at some surprising ranges, and since this is only available on the Engineer class, if you pair it with a LAW, a SMAW, or the RPG rocket launcher, you can help alleviate the need to take out some of those long-range targets and then go back to roasting those enemies up close and in your immediate vicinity. Now, playing to this weapon's strength is what's going to make it shine. The hip fire at 1.5 degrees is already pretty strong, but adding a laser turns this thing into a hip fire monster. Now, of course, you know me, I normally don't run lasers as they can give away your position, but as long as you're mindful of your laser being on and you're turning it on and off during certain circumstances, I found this to be a net positive. Now, one thing that's going to depend on your playstyle is the barrel. Now, for me, I found the best way to clear out points and come out on top is minimizing those 50-50 firefights between you and the enemy. This is one of the keys to Battlefield 4, is attacking your enemy where they don't expect you to be. And that's where a suppressor comes in handy for clearing snipers off roofs or camping their gimme flag. Keep in mind that the one biggest downside is a suppressor drops the MPX's bullet velocity from an already pretty low 340 meters per second all the way down to 270 meters per second, which means you'll be needing to heavily lead targets at range. However, if you're an aggressive engineer, this can still play into your favor. This matches my playstyle, as I spend a lot of time, or as much time as possible, staying off the minimap and not letting the enemy know where I am or if I'm even there. And while the MPX has an arguably limited to average magazine capacity at 31 rounds, it completely makes up for this with a faster reload time than most PDWs at 2.1 seconds for the tactical reload and 2.55 seconds for the empty reload. And while firearms like the UMP-45 and AS Val, some of those, they only take 4 bullets to kill in close quarters combat, and the MPX takes 5. The first damage drop off for the MPX occurs at 15 meters, while the heavier hitting PDWs see their first drop off at around 8 to 12 meters. This, along with that predictable recoil, gives the MPX a slight advantage at those ranges. Now, as far as grip attachments, there's a few different options here depending on your playstyle. If you want to focus even more on this weapon's hipfire capabilities, an ergo grip might suit your needs as it reduces the penalty for firing on the move by 50%. But for me, I'm already running a laser, so that hipfire is pretty tight already, and personally, I've found no problem at all jumping aggressively around corners and maintaining accuracy on my target, and more often than not, winning the engagement. Considering how good the hipfire is with a laser, I'm running the stubby grip though. I run the stubby grip as a mitigation to the weapon's spread at range. This helps in snagging a few more kills at range and allows me to key down on the trigger for slightly longer, since the stubby grip mitigates the penalty for automatic fire by 15%. Now, I know 15% doesn't sound very significant or like a whole lot, but for me, it absolutely is. Now, one of the downsides of the MPX is the weapon's reasonably high 2.4 times first shot recoil multiplier, so if you're having trouble controlling that kind of recoil, you might want to consider the angled grip. The angled grip is going to decrease that first shot multiplier by 33%, which is pretty decently noticeable. Now for optics, I'm running the US-based reflex sight. Normally I run the Coyote, but I also think this just looks best on the firearm, matches the design pretty well. Whatever you decide to run is completely up to you, and while sometimes statistically outclassed by the heavier hitting AS Val and the UMP45, the MPX makes up for this greatly with its ease of use, and believe me, if I can do well with this gun, I know you can do well with this gun. Now the unlock criteria for this weapon might be a little bit tricky. Most of it's pretty easy. You have to complete the Not the Weakest Link assignment, which requires you to reach rank 10, which most people already have, and play on a Dragon's Teeth map, which most people have already done that as well. But you also have to earn 2 PDW ribbons. That's 6 PDW kills in 1 round. Do that twice, not too big of a deal, but the one that's a little tricky is you have to link 10 points in chain link mode. So if you can find one server out there with one other person who's willing to cooperate with you, or maybe a friend hop in and take some of those chain links back, because in most of these maps you don't have 10 different points to link, so therefore you're going to need someone else to take them back from you and vice versa. And then the only additional thing on top of that is following squad orders 10 times. Shouldn't be too hard to do. So overall, this is one of the most consistent firearms I've come across in the game. The ability to swing on opponents, challenge close to mid-range gunfights, and predictable recoil make this a top-tier personal defense weapon, and I highly recommend you giving it a try. Now, of course, once again, if you want to help me keep Battlefield 4 alive, even way past the launch of Battlefield 6, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Those definitely help out. Thank you so much for watching till the end of this. Anyways, y'all have a blessed day. I'll see you on the battlefield.